Hey guys, welcome to the Primed Fatherhood podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Condi, and this is episode 12. The Primed Fatherhood podcast is based on the premise that past achievements do not guarantee future success. As fathers, we need to stay focused on all aspects of our most important role. So my goal is to broadcast an episode every Monday and Thursday that inspires you or instructs you on important items related to fatherhood. Primed stands for provide, refine, instruct, manage, engage, and defend. So these episodes will cover a myriad of topics related to any aspect of those 6 foundational fatherly roles. My goal for today's episode is to help you strengthen your relationships, feel better about how things are going in your life, and be more engaged with your families. Stay tuned as I unpack this scientifically proven method of increasing happiness, which will in turn help you in your relationships, mental health, and fatherly roles. We have answered the call. We are committed to a greater purpose. We are fathers. Past achievements do not guarantee future success. We will prime ourselves often to navigate each new challenge. We are capable, brave, and relentless. We will remain undaunted. In a recent study published by the Harvard Medical School, 2 psychologists asked participants to write a few sentences each week focusing on particular topics. One group wrote about the things that they were grateful for that had occurred during the week. The second group wrote about daily irritations or things that had displeased them. And the third group wrote about events that had affected them with no emphasis on whether it was positive or negative. After 10 weeks, those who wrote about gratitude were more optimistic and felt better about their lives. Surprisingly, they also exercised more and had fewer visits to physicians than those who focused on sources of aggravation. These days, in positive psychology research, gratitude is strongly and consistently associated with increasing happiness. Gratitude helps people feel more positive emotions, relish good experiences, improve their health, deal with adversity, and build strong relationships. It's easy for us to hear, oh, you need to be grateful, and just leave it as a surface level admonition. But in reality, there is some real power to gratitude and to focusing on the things that are good in your life. And there are a couple of connections that I'd like to make here that will support this principle and this research that came from that Harvard study. The first one is that researchers are saying that the human brain can actually only focus on 3 to 5 things at once. If one of those things is the thing that you're grateful for, and another one of those things is the feeling that you're getting from being grateful, then that really doesn't leave much room in your mind for negativity, doubt, fear, or pain. You may have heard the Stoic quote from Seneca that says, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." And when you hear that, you may think to yourself, I'm sure that's true, but how do I control my mind enough to not suffer needlessly? I've thought about that as I've heard that quote, and one of the things that I've learned is that gratitude is one of those things that will help you take your mind off of the worry and the anxiety of the things that cause you suffering in imagination before it actually is necessary to suffer for those things. The second connection that I'd like to make that supports the principle that gratitude increases happiness is that cliche saying that we hear a lot that says comparison is the thief of joy. With our minds being inundated with highlight reels from people's social media and seeing others' outward success, it's really easy for us to start feeling sorry for ourselves. But we have to really remind ourselves that we're only seeing a highlight reel, and that seeing the riches and the awesome experiences and the successes that we see on social media and all around us are not what actually make people happy. And what we need to remember is that we shouldn't be comparing ourselves. We should be turning our thoughts inward and asking ourselves, what good do I have in my life? When we ask that, it will help us to feel and relive the good things that we have, and in turn, that will make us more happy. I think it's important to remember that everyone has their own set of struggles, and that although someone may look happy in their highlight reel or look happy from the outside, we have to remember that everyone has their own battles that they have to fight, and their battles are just in different areas than what you're seeing. And most of the time when I remind myself of that and I see the battles that people are fighting behind closed doors, I look at my struggles and challenges and think, oh, I could probably handle mine better than I could handle what they're going through. So I think that's an important thing to help us to make that connection, that gratitude really does make us happier. The third one is it's important to remind ourselves that things really could always be worse. Memento mori is Latin for remember you will die. And it has been made popular by Marcus Aurelius and all those who follow Stoicism, because Marcus Aurelius wrote, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. I really like the memento mori reminder because it helps me to slow down and think, is what I am doing today really meaningful? Is it contributing to what my life goals are? And if I died today, would I leave something valuable behind? Or would I feel like I was ready to die? It shouldn't be a scary or a depressing thought. It should just be a motivating and inspiring thought that helps you to think, is what I'm doing really meaningful? A lot of times we're tempted to live in this world where our ambitions outweigh our gratitude, and we can just be discontent all the time, just constantly trying to level up and climb the ladder and get the things that we want. But in reality, at every step of the way, there's tons to be grateful for. And it's really important to remind ourselves that looking forward to getting that next thing isn't going to make us any happier than we are right now, because we'll be looking forward to the next thing after that and the next thing after that. And so I really like that reminder of memento mori. And the next person that I'm reminded of when I think of memento mori, I think of Viktor Frankl, especially when it comes to reminding yourself that things could always be worse. If you don't know about Viktor Frankl, there's some amazing books about him, but he met one of the most horrible fates that I could possibly imagine. He was locked up in a Nazi concentration camp and surrounded by death constantly, and he was constantly at risk of dying himself. And he was able to stay in control of his mind through the whole thing and come out of it better and be able to really inspire the world. And one of the things that he said that hits me really hard is, everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms: to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. In my mind, Viktor Frankl was the master of controlling his attitude and his well-being, because he understood that he had his agency and his consciousness, and no one could take that, and he could decide how he interpreted everything that was happening to him. And it's incredible to think that he was able to find peace in his consciousness in that kind of a horrific environment. And I like to take strength from that in thinking, if he can find peace in his mind and control his attitude in the midst of one of the worst things that's happened in the world's history, then I can control my mind and remind myself that things can always get worse. And even if they do get worse, I am still in control of my attitude, and I can still be grateful for all that I have, even if what I have is very little at the moment. So I think that those are really helpful and important connections to make when thinking about these studies that say that gratitude can help people to feel more positive emotions, relish good experiences, improve their health, deal with adversity, and build strong relationships. Gratitude really does increase happiness, and I think that it deserves more than it gets as far as being an effective way for us to control our minds, stay focused, and stay on the right path to be the best dads that we can be. As I researched gratitude and researched some of these studies, I looked up all the different ways that people are able to help themselves to be more grateful, which will in turn increase your happiness. And I wrote down a list here that kind of goes in order of simplicity and ineffectiveness from least to greatest. And the first thing that I got that a lot of people mentioned, and that really does make a big difference, is to thank people in person, in text, or even just mentally. And if you do that, you will feel happier due to the positivity that brings back to your mind. So that's a really simple one. Just thank people. Thank them verbally, in a quick text, or they say that you can even just thank them mentally, not actually verbalizing your gratitude, but thinking it, and it will make you happier. So I think that that's a pretty easy and basic step that we can take. If we want to take it a step further, we can write thank you notes. There's tons of self-help or sales and marketing books that say write thank you notes, and they say this is how you build relationships, and it's definitely true in my experience. People receive thank you notes so well that it keeps the wave of gratitude and happiness going. They will thank you for giving them the thank you note, and you will think of the thing that they did that made you happy in the first place, and your gratitude will increase, which means your happiness will increase. Also, along these lines, research shows that gratitude can greatly improve relationships. For example, a study of couples found that individuals who took time to express gratitude for their partner not only felt more positive toward the other person, but also felt more comfortable expressing concerns about their relationship. I think that's really interesting that gratitude increases trust as well as happiness, and that it kind of goes along with that other episode the last primer episode that I did, where Stephen Covey teaches that love is a verb rather than a feeling, and that if you do the things that show love first, then you will feel love afterward. I think that goes along with this. Being grateful to those that you love or to those that you're trying to foster a relationship with will help you to feel better about them and do the things that help you to feel the love. It's also been proven that when managers remember to say thank you to people who work for them, they find that those employees feel more motivated to work harder for the managers. That's always a good thing as well. So in Fine, if you're writing thank you notes, you can expect to increase your relationship with those people and take it to the next level. The more good relationships you have, the happier you will be. And thank you notes are a great way to do that. So if you want to take your happiness increase to the next level, keep a gratitude journal. Focusing on gratitude channels the power of visualization. And I always loved Muhammad Ali's famous quote that says, "If my mind can conceive it and my heart can believe it, then I can achieve it." There's all sorts of awesome studies about the power of visualization or visual imagery in sports and in business and in all aspects of life, the power of daily affirmations and things like that. But what it all comes down to is, if you're visualizing something and you're reliving it, or you're visualizing it as an event that you're actually experiencing, then your mind can actually trick your body into believing that it's actually happening. If we become good at visualizing things in our minds, we can make them as real as we're experiencing them. Journaling in detail about the good things that we have and experience can bring back all of those same great feelings that we had in that moment when it was actually happening. And this is a really powerful and deep way to increase our happiness by going deeper into our gratitude. The next one is counting your blessings. And this is not just kind of thinking through what you're grateful for at the table at Thanksgiving. This goes a lot deeper in actually, literally keeping a list of what you're grateful for, and then reviewing that list and adding to that list continually. When I was struggling with a lot of depression and anxiety through 2016 and 2017, I did this, and it really was a powerful reminder to me of all of the amazing things that I had going for me in my life, regardless of how I felt about things at the moment. If I looked at that list, and I kept it in an app on Wunderlist on my phone, and just scrolling through that when I was struggling, when I remembered to do it, was so helpful. And I still have that list today and add to it, and that's been a really great one. The next way that you can increase your gratitude that helps a lot of people and really helps me is prayer. Prayers of gratitude take counting your blessings to the next level, because you're acknowledging that your blessings didn't come by your own strength or your own good fortune. This has really powerful implications on the mind alone, but I truly believe in God and have experienced greater peace, joy, and direction through my prayers of gratitude. And I would just encourage that if you have any belief in God at all, that you go ahead and say a prayer of gratitude and just thank God for the things that you have. Don't even ask for anything new or say a memorized prayer. Just make it a personal gratitude list, and you will feel better. And if you don't have any belief, now's a good time to try, because we need all the gratitude and happiness that we can get in our lives. The next one that lots of different institutions mention as far as how to increase our gratitude and in turn increase our happiness is to meditate. I am a huge believer in taking that time, and as Tayson and I discussed in my interview with him, part of the reason that he created Outdoor Vitals and that he loves the outdoors is to get out and to disconnect. And that's one of the huge things that draws me out into the mountains as often as I go, which is every chance I get, is just the ability to disconnect and slow down and think things through, or not even have to be thinking about critical decisions, and to just be out there and enjoy it. And one of the things that really helps me with is it reminds me of what it was like for people to live in more simple times, where they were just focused on hunting, gathering, and fighting for life each day. When I think of how hard of a life that was, it really does help me to be a lot more grateful for the lives that we live, with so many comforts, with such amazing access to all the knowledge that the world has, and with so many opportunities. Getting outdoors, pushing your limits, and feeling the discomfort of being out there for an extended time really can help you to be more grateful for all that you're given. The next one that is mentioned a lot is talking about your gratitude. Voicing your convictions, your findings, your experiences helps you to make deeper connections in your understanding of that particular topic. It also allows you to connect with the people around you, which creates more joy. I found this to be really true, and not only is it good for you to voice your gratitude for things, because it helps you to make more connections of what you're grateful for and to get a conversation going with other people about what they're grateful for, but it helps you to build common ground with the people that you're talking with, and that alone will increase your relationships. And relationships are really kind of the foundational building block of life in my mind. The more good relationships you have, the better your foundation is for being a successful person and for being a better dad. So I just want to take some time and share what I'm grateful for as I voice my gratitude. So I am extremely grateful for my wife and my daughters, for my parents, my in-laws, my siblings, for my wife's family, for my extended family, and for all of my friends. I really live for these people, and I enjoy them so much and receive so much support and help from them that they really are my whole world. So I'm also very grateful for my knowledge of God and Jesus Christ, and for the comfort and direction that I get from my faith. And that's something that really drives me in my life, and I am so appreciative of. I am grateful for the world of opportunity that we live in. I'm grateful for modern technology that allows us to reach across the world and to learn and connect and engage, and I am so grateful for that, and for the internet in and of itself for that. I'm really grateful for the career that I found myself in. I'm grateful for the successes that I've experienced, and I am really grateful for the failures that I've had in business and in being a leader and a manager, because I have learned so much from those experiences, and I wouldn't trade those for anything. I'm really grateful that I live in southern Utah. I'm grateful for all two-wheeled machines that bring me so much joy. The mountain bikes, the BMX bikes, the dirt bikes, street bikes, even scooters. I just love anything with two wheels and anything that we can instigate a race on. I'm really grateful for the mountains and for hunting and the lessons that I've learned there with my dad and with my uncles and friends. I'm grateful for the right to bear arms. I'm grateful for guns and the fun that they are and the protection that I can provide to my family with. I'm grateful for archery, for the focus that provides me and for the challenge of it. I'm extremely grateful for my health and for modern medicine. I'm also extremely grateful and honored to be a dad. I'm grateful for everyone who is joining me on the primed fatherhood journey, and I am really grateful for the ability that I have to share these things with people and for the feedback that I get on how things are going. I think that's enough for now. I could go on for a long time. I'm feeling great by voicing my gratitude for these things, and I just want to challenge everyone who is listening to really focus on one of these items that I mentioned that will help you to cultivate your gratitude, because I know that it will help you to increase your happiness, and when you increase your happiness, everything gets better in life. You're more focused, your relationships are stronger, you're able to engage better and be more present with your family, you do better in your work. And so whether you decide to focus on thanking people in person, writing thank you notes, journaling about gratitude, making a gratitude list, prayers of gratitude, meditating, or voicing the things that you're grateful about, I can promise that it will help you to be more happy and positive and focused in life. So thank you again for listening to this episode, and I hope that you got something out of it. If you did, I would just ask that you share this episode with someone who you think will benefit from it. Please subscribe to this podcast and leave a review wherever you're listening. You can also subscribe on YouTube. And just remember that if you want to connect with more focused fathers who share your experiences with and to learn from their experiences as fathers, please join us in the Primed Fatherhood Facebook group. So I think that's it for today. Remember to stay primed.